New York, cartoonists oppose racist remarks of Dilbert creator Scott Adams, with an artist even using his strip this week to satirize the infamous cartoon that is now in newspapers across country. Darren Bell transforms his own strip, Canterville, which often features young Black and Latino characters, into a way of addressing Adams' racism by imitating the look and style of Dilbert. Bell, who won the 2019 Pulitzer Prize for Illustrated Reporting and Commentary, said, "The only reason anyone knows who Scott Adams is the comics page. So I thought someone on the comics page should respond to him on the comics page." Associated Press. In strips running Monday through Saturday, Bell paired Dilbert with one of her own characters, Lamont Brown. In one, Dilbert hopes Lamont will take side in his quest to build a laundry room for business. "You can wash your hoodie," Dilbert says. Adams, who is white, was an outspoken and controversial presence on social media long before describing blacks as a hate group on YouTube last month. Adams repeatedly referred to black people as members of a hate group, and said he would no longer help black Americans. He later said it was hyperbolic, but continued to defend his stance. "When someone goes too far like Scott Adams did, everyone who knows better should stand up and use the First Amendment to draw a line. Say that's unacceptable," said Bell, whose new comic book, The Talk, explores growing growth as a biracial man in white culture. Other cartoonists came forward to blame Adams. For example, Bill Holbrook, creator of On the Fast Track, about an interracial family and focusing on a modern workplace like Dilbert. Across the country, "One of the things I want to highlight with my characters is that people overcome their differences. It could work," Holbrook said. "That's where I wanted to focus and still want to do. It's all about where you want to focus." I totally agree with him saying whatever he wants. But then he has to face the consequences of saying it, she said. "It is not cancel. It is experiencing the consequences of expressing its views." Individual newspapers dropped Dilbert, and Adams' distributor, Andrews McMeel Universal, said it had severed ties with the cartoonist, while some outlets have replaced Dilbert with another strip. The Sun Chronicle in Attleboro, Massachusetts has decided to keep the space empty until March to remind us of the racism plaguing our society. The Dilbert controversy rattled a community of everyday cartoonists who created their work in their home a few months before it was published. While are reliably pro-freedom of speech, they also say, or at least chuckle, that are geared towards a better future. "We believe that comics are a powerful tool and that cartoonists should perpetuate laughter, not racism and hatred," said T. Fonner, editor-in-chief of King Features Syndicate, which distributes such strips as Canterville, Zits, Mutts, and The Threat. Dennis, he told the AP, "We are proud of our cartoonists who use their platforms to denounce hate spread by Scott Adams and encourage others to join us as we stand together as a community, make the cartoon world a safe and welcoming place for all," statement said. Bell credited King Features Syndicate and its editors for allowing it to tear off the strips designed for this week and returned to unusual request, Dilbert posts. "Apparently they thought it was important enough to take the risk and have it extinguished in time," Bell said. Many comic book creators have said they've stopped reading Dilbert over the past few years, finding the strip's tone darker, and finding its creators' descent into misogyny, anti-immigration, and racism worrying. But Adams still had hundreds of newspaper purchases until last week. "We can't and won't move forward as a culture and a society if there are people still holding on to these archaic ideas in these guard roles," said artist Bianca Zunis, co-author of the strip, Six Chicks. She is the second nationally syndicated black woman in comic book history. Zunis noted that fallout was much quicker when she drew a strip commenting on both the Black Lives Matter movement and coronavirus pandemic. More than 120 broadcast strips immediately dropped. He said being black in the cartooning world has always triggered backlash from hateful readers and those who fear wake up messages. But it was heartening that Heart of the City replaced Dilbert, now black cartoonist Steens. At the Washington Post, we don't want to go so far as to become a different form of fascism by censoring everyone's opinions just for fear of being offensive, Zunis said. But some things don't need to be said, especially if they're directly punching the marginalized. Macanudo creator Ricardo Linnaeus Siri, known professionally as Linnaeus, said that Adams was heading into non-comic territory. And that's the third way a cartoonist has gone. Complaining isn't usually fun. The funniest guy at a party isn't the one who complains about everything. That's the annoying guy, he said. I'm not complaining. I'm just trying to focus on the good things we have around us, he added. Because I try to have an optimistic space in the context of a newspaper with so much bad news.